I think he's spot on as well, completely spot on, and Conte really well, and his reaction, he's a very emotional guy. Of course, I think maybe the rain and the wind in Burnley made him even more emotional, because for him to almost ask Spurs to sack him, because that's what it was after Burnley. Maybe his vocabulary in English maybe didn't really want to say exactly what he said, but it was basically, well, you know, the club have to make a decision with me now, and you know, clearly, and let me go, kind of thing. Very different today. He even said, "Oh, the club is happy with me." Well, of course, it's a blessing that you're there. You're far too good for Spurs, so they're never going to say, "We're not happy with you, Antonio. We might sack you." This is never going to happen. It's all down to him. He does what he wants. He wants to stay, he stays. He wants to leave, he leaves. They're never going to sack him or anything like this. Yes, he was disappointed not to get more players in January, and we can see and understand why. But Craig is right. You can't have one day, this is the best squad you've ever worked with, and then 3 days later, this is rubbish. I've never lost 4 in 5 in my career. I've had enough of this. I'm not good enough. I mean, this is crazy stuff. I mean, it's very entertaining, but it looked like a broken man, I have to say, on Wednesday night. Really broken by Spurs and the Spursiness of Spurs. Now let's see what happens to Leeds. If they lose at Leeds and it's 5 out of 6 defeats now, I think it explodes. I think it will literally explode right in front of our eyes.
Robbo, you're a big Antonio Conte fan. Will you defend him?
I'm a big Antonio Conte fan of his coaching and what he's done at the teams he's been at and the way he plays his football. What I'm not a fan of is the way he's trying to deal with it in the press. It reminds me of a manager that used to be a great manager and then started to manage through the press, Jose Mourinho. And Antonio Conte is going down the same route. And that's going to be a problem for him. He's got to manage on the training field, do the right things with the team, get them playing how he wants them to play, and stop moaning and just get on with it.
Don, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I couldn't agree more with everyone saying. I had a massive argument at work today and someone tried to stick up for him saying, "Oh, it's not his fault, it's the player's fault, it's Daniel Levy's fault." And I'm thinking, how's it Daniel Levy's fault that you've lost 4 out of 5? How's it Daniel Levy's fault that you've lost against Burnley? Jules is right. The week before, it's the best squad I've ever worked with. When he's up here, he's up here. And when he's low, it's the end of the world. And I think there was a tiny little bit lost in translation where he was sort of saying about the paycheck and maybe I'm not as good. He wasn't being sincere. And, you know, if he loses against Leeds tomorrow, I actually can't imagine what he might say, what he might do, whether he quits, whether he walks away. I couldn't tell you. But I've never seen a manager so up and down and so emotional. He's passionate, granted, and he wants to do the best for himself, the club and the players. But as Craig said, knuckle down, man. January window's gone. You've got a crop of players to work with to try and get close to top 4 or get into European spots. Knuckle down and get some results.
I know that's the thing. It's not like they've got nothing to play for. They had at one point, I don't know what games they've got in hand now, but they had 3 games in hand on Man United, maybe even 4 at one point, and not the most difficult Man City apart looking fixture list. But it's been embarrassing. Now, all is not gone, but he's trying to push the car over the cliff. Right? It's dangling at the moment, and he's out the back trying to push it with the players in it. I mean, it's incredible. We sat here 3 months ago, or whatever it was, to a man and went, "Great coach, watch what's going to happen at this football club. Watch this unfold. The histrionics, the whinging, the transfers, disappointments." We've already had that. We've had the whinging. As Don said, if one game in particular I think stands out for me, losing to Burnley are fighting for their lives, going to Man City winning, but Southampton at home recently, it was a close game in scoreline, but trust me, they got an absolute trousering and a football lesson at their own stadium from a team with a very good manager in Ralph Hasenhüttl, who sell the house and all the belongings every summer almost, and they have to go again, Hasenhüttl, with all sorts of, journeyman players and whatnot, and they package some together and they get on with it. They went there and they obliterated this Tottenham side.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.